This video is for exercise 7-36-3. Now, it is part of the requirements for this assignment that you create the drawing file and create the PDF. However, I am only going to be focusing on actually creating the Geneva wheel in this tutorial. And I want to show you a way that you can very quickly go through and get the Geneva wheel created. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the right plane and do a new sketch. And just like with other ones, I'm going to be using a revolved profile. So what I want to do is create a geometry center line right here on the origin that goes all the way across my screen. Then I can go to the line command, and I'm going to zoom in kind of far here, and I can begin to draw the actual profile of what it is that I want to extrude or revolve. So there's my profile. Now, because I created this geometry center line, I can use it to put in diametric dimensions. By clicking on the line, then the center line, and then the line again, I can actually state what I want this dimension to be. So as I go through here and place these dimensions, I don't have to divide by 2 or anything like that. I can just go ahead and make them like they're supposed to be. Now, since the only other 2 dimensions I need are already weak dimensions, I can go ahead and just convert the weak dimensions into strong dimensions. So there I've got everything that I need to actually do the Geneva wheel. So I'll go ahead and finish this sketch and click on revolve, and since I used the geometry center line, it already knows what it needs to do. So I'll go ahead and hit the checkbox. Now, I have a top plane that is sitting above my object because of the way that I chose to create this. That's going to serve my purposes very well. So I'm going to click on top and click sketch, and then I will click sketch again. Now, since this thing has a repeatable pattern, I can go ahead and use the information that I've already got here to actually create the object that I need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this down into 2 parts. So first I'm going to click on use, and I'm going to grab this and this, and then I'll say close, and then I'm going to draw a line that comes down here, another line horizontal and equal length to that line that comes down to here, with a circle that is going to be directly between these 2. Okay, now that's going to end up being a little bit sloppier than I want because it's a tangent circle. So let me go ahead and just delete these lines. That way I can make sure that there's not going to be any problems here in a minute. So I'm going to recreate these lines straight off of here and up. And what this is going to do is this is going to make sure that everything is lined up the way that it is supposed to be lined up. Now I want to go to delete segment, and I want to get rid of the interior parts of this. I want to get rid of all of the lines that make up this circle. And when I'm done doing that, I should have a closed loop for right here. Now, the dimension off of center for this right here is 2, which is half of 4. And the radius for the inside of that turn is going to be, since it is 1 or 0.5 across here, that means my diameter is 0.5, so this would be 0.25. So this is going to serve as the basis for what I'm actually trying to do right now, which is to create this situation where I've got everything in place that I need. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a line. And this line here, I'm just going to draw it up like this. Now, I want to end that line because I need to put in an angular reference. Now, since it is 60 between here and here, that means it is going to be 30 here. Now, what I want to do is I want to click on this line and then slow right click and change it to a construction line because I'm not actually using that line. The next thing that I want to do is I want to dimension that line 4.5. So we'll go to dimension, pick this line, and put in a dimension of 4.5. 1.5. Now this is going to serve as the spot where I need to put in the circle for the radius of 1.5. So now I'm going to go back to circle, and I'm going to put in a circle right here, and that circle is going to have a diameter of 3. Okay, so what I can see that I've established now is I've got this located and I've got this located, and I have 2 closed loops. So I'm going to go ahead and finish my sketch. Now I'm going to extrude, and I want to set this up to go all the other way and cutting. And I'll click on the green checkbox, and it's going to remove those 2 pieces. Now immediately I'm going to go right down to pattern, and I'm going to say axis. And the axis that I want to use is the z-axis. Now this tells me that it's 60 degrees apart, which is a very important piece of information, because at 60 degrees apart I can come in here and I can put 60 and 6, or I can just make it 360 degrees, do whatever it is that I want to do. 60 and 6 is going to be the same thing as 60 at 360 degrees. So either way that you decide to do it, it's going to be fine and it's going to give you the same result. So I'll hit my green checkbox. Now what you can see is it's gone through and it's made all of the cuts as necessary for this particular part. I'm going to go right back to my top view and do another new sketch. And in this case, I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to use these 2 arcs right here. And now I will draw a line that goes up, over, and down. Now I want to make a constraint to say that those 2 lines are going to be equal, which in turn is going to make them symmetrical. I want to delete the segments of this that I do not need, which is all 3 of those segments, and now I can go in here and actually dimension my keyway. And the keyway is 0.36 by 0.2, so I'll change this to 0.36, and we'll make this 0.2. Finish the sketch for my keyway, and now I can extrude this through all, going the other way and cutting, and click on the green checkbox, and that is going to give me almost a complete Geneva wheel. The last thing that I need to do is I need to come in here and go to my round tool, and I want the radius to be 0.25, and here under my sets I want this right here and only that. It's the only fillet on the part. Hit the green checkbox, and that is the completion of the Geneva wheel. The next step, again, just create the new drawing file, dimension it. Once you're done with that, go ahead and create the PDF file and submit the PDF, and you're done.